Chapter 5 of The Legend of Skeleton Man. Eat and grow fat. You may be asking yourself, what life is like for me inside that house? Are there spiderwebs everywhere, bats and centipedes and mold on the walls? Are there chains clanking down in the cedar and ghostly moans coming from the attic? No, actually, aside from being dark and set back from the road, it isn't really all that spooky a place to look at. It's 100 years old, but there are older places in town, and the house is full of modern appliances in the kitchen and the living room. Dishwasher, microwave, a television with a cable hookup. My uncle even has a personal computer. I saw it through the open door of his study once. He spends a lot of time in that room, and I imagine he must be surfing the net, visiting all the weirdest websites probably. What makes that house strange is the way it feels when you get inside it. I saw an old movie once where someone walks into a room and then the door disappears and then the walls start moving in. It is something like that. And I always feel as if someone or something is looking at me. But when I turn around, there's nothing there. Then there's the way my uncle acts. Like when you'd expect him to be waiting for me, his niece, to come down and to ask me how my day went, he's not. He's not there. He's just a note. There's just a note on the front door, not handwritten, but out of his laser printer. Back later, it reads, dinner in fridge. He's left food for me in the refrigerator for the last 2 nights as well. The food I'm supposed to eat is on a plate on the top shelf, ready to pop in the microwave. Anyhow, it makes it easier for me. I flip on the garbage disposal and spoon the loathsome stuff, a huge plate of spaghetti with meatballs, down the sink drain. If I ate everything he gave me, even if it wasn't full of drugs, I'd get as fat as a butterball turkey. I could go into the living room and watch TV. Or one of the videos from the library of movies he has next to the VCR. There's a lot of stuff that people think kids like to watch, mostly Disney movies and cartoons, but I don't want to. It's the thought of having him walk in while I'm watching something, or even worse, of him watching me without my knowledge of it. I've got homework and books to read in my backpack. I'm seeing more of the school librarian now than I ever did before my parents turned up missing. Before I go upstairs, I look out the kitchen window and see the light is on in front of his shed. That either means he is out there or he had forgotten to turn it off. No way I'm going out there to find out which it is. I put the chair in front of my door and then take a quick bath. Put on my PJs and my favorite pink robe, which I have worn just about every night for a year now. I move the bedside lamp closer so that I can get the most of its feeble light. Lie down on my stomach and breeze through my homework. Even the math problems are really no problem at all. Then I pull out one of my books I've borrowed. It's one that Ms. Shaba said I just had to read because you can really identify with the heroine and it takes you somewhere else, which is where I want to be for sure. It turns out that she was right. This book truly does take my mind off things. Before I know it, I've read a couple dozen chapters. I feel like I'm on a sailing ship with the heroine, until I start wondering what Charlotte Doyle would do if she switched places with me. And I realize that I don't know what she would do any more than I know what I should do. I put a bookmark in to keep my place, lean back on my pillow and close my eyes. As always, at least since I've been there, I don't turn out the light. I just want to rest my eyes. I don't want to go to sleep. But I do. And instantly, I am there in that same dream. I'm back in that cave. My body, the body of a partridge warm and limp in my hands. I'm holding it out to my uncle as he crouches in his corner. Without looking over his shoulder, he reaches an arm back. I see for the first time that his fingers are long and hairy, and his fingernails are thick and sharp, more like claws. He grabs the dead bird so hard that I hear its bones crack. I thought it would be a rabbit, he growls. Did you catch a rabbit? No, I say. That is all. Then he begins to eat. I don't see him eat it, but I hear his teeth crunching through the feathers and flesh and bones. He eats it all, growling as he swallows. Then he reaches his arm back again. I stare at his fingers. A few small feathers from the partridge are stuck to them, and the nails are red with blood. Hold out your arm, child, he says. I don't give him my arm. Instead, I hold out a stick the size of my wrist. His groping hands closes around it. Arg, he growls, even thinner and harder than before. No flesh at all, only bone. You must eat more, my niece. Eat and grow Fat for me. I sit up awake. I say that out loud. I'm awake. It was all a dream. But then I look around me and I see this room, as bare and cold as the chamber of a cave. And then the snick, snick, snick of the locks. No, it wasn't a dream.